Hello everyone, it's Vicki at Stamp with Vicki. Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to create an elegant Halloween card that maybe, if it's your anniversary, you could use it, or just give it to somebody special. I think it's really a fun card. It can be used romantically or just simply elegant. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's the card that we're going to create. And it's ultimately a pretty simple design, and I definitely stepped this puppy up. We are going to be using products from the Magic in This Night Suite, and that is found on page 53 in the annual catalog. I am in love, of course, with the Halloween designer paper and, all the bits and pieces. And there's black glimmer paper, which is fantastic. Halloween, if you don't already know, is my favorite holiday, so I certainly love to create for it. And it's been fun this year. I've been doing some extra treats and goodies and all sorts of fun things. Here is a close-up look of the Hallows Night Magic stamp set that we're using. And today we're going to be using this kind of border, I guess. And there's Magic in the Night. And you're going to see something cool about the bats too. In fact, I forgot to mount those, but I wanted to add a little something, so we'll do that later. Now, I did want to share the dies that coordinate with it. This is really cool. So these are two different label dies, and obviously you can see bats and spiders and all sorts of fun Halloween-y, creepy things. So, creepy characters, I guess we can call them. While I'm thinking of it, I am going to go ahead and mount these bats. And happy Halloween. So give me just a quick second, but I guess I can show you how to do that. So these are our cling stamps, and they're super sticky. And what you're gonna do is just gonna take an acrylic block and boom. So what's funny is actually yesterday my husband came in and I was putting the stickers on the stamps, and he of course was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I told him, and he's like, "Well, how are you gonna stick it to the acrylic?" And I just kind of looked at him and went just like that. Well, now I have to straighten it. But he just kind of was, "Oh, okay." And, that was just kind of funny. So I guess he hadn't really seen me do that before. All right, we're going to use those later. I'm going to set those right up there. So the card base is 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. I don't know why I just got stuck there. And then the first layer, I've used Poppy Parade. My goodness, that looks big, doesn't it? Maybe I cut that too small. Wrong piece. There we go. Okay, much better. So I used Poppy Parade, getting back to it, and that is cut to 4 inches by 5.25. And we're gonna actually set that aside and build up this layer first. And the first thing we're going to do is attach the designer paper. The measurements for the designer paper, it's 2.5 by 5. So we're going to layer it right here onto the left side. I'm going to have to pull this closer so I can get it straight, and then I'll just push it right back up. It's pretty good. Okay. There you go. I feel like I have no idea what these flowers are. Maybe they're poppies, but they just screamed red to me, and I really enjoy the Poppy Parade color. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we'll take the what color? Glittered organdy ribbon. This is kind of how I keep my ribbon from untying all the time. I'm sure there's a better way. I often work off the spool, so I really don't know how many inches this will take, but let me show you how I do it. And I usually have pretty good luck with just a little bit of waste. I try to be very mindful of that, especially with the ribbon, because I love ribbon. Whoops. But yeah, So let's see here. It's actually a fairly easy ribbon to tie. It has some kind of substance to the edges of it, which is nice. And of course it's fun because it's sparkly. Well, look at that. Perfect. Yeah, so that's typically how I tie ribbon, and in tutorials I'm always having to untie my ribbons to measure what how much of the ribbon I use. It's kind of funny. I'm going to trim that just a teeny bit. Just a teeny bit. That's such a fun ribbon. Can you believe this is the first I've purchased it? Silly Vicky. There. All right, I'm going to set that aside. We can just put everything together a little bit later. All right, let's do some stamping. So to create, this is going to be probably a little hard to see, but there you go. You can see that I've used some clear embossing powder, and I think that's kind of what makes it elegant, you know, just a hint of something, right? The easiest way to probably do this, so I've heat embossed it, but I got lucky and I cut out the label first, but I'm going to teach you an easier way. Mostly because I just wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. And I'm just kind of walk you through this. I'm not going to actually emboss it or cut it through the Big Shot. I have already done that, but I did want to show you the general gist of how to go about doing that. Just to save time so you don't have to hear the heat embosser until I learn how to edit my videos. All right, so yes, you cannot see that. Versamark ink is clear, but it does stay wet. And so this is the clear embossing powder. This is what it's going to look like. Then what I would do is take my heat gun and I would heat it up. And you can tell it's finished because it goes from looking like that to glossy. And you can see. So it's just literally, it's not even a color, it's just a hint of shine. And it's really cool when you look at the card in person. Okay, and then after I have done that, I've embossed it, then I would go back with the smaller size label and I would run it through the Big Shot. So you can see how much easier it is rather than trying to guess, to just actually do the stamping and embossing first. So that's, in general, that's a really good way to do it. Just easier instead of, you know, making it crooked and whatnot. So I'm going to set that aside and we'll see if later that's still wet and I can dry it, or, you know, if I have to just call it good. All right, let me put my ribbon away. Get rid of that. Okay. Whoops. Now we're going to take Memento Black. Let me do a little bit of other stamping. Let me get a piece of scrap paper. I won't need it for this, but I will need it for the next one. Okay. There is magic in this night. Again, you know, Halloween-y, romantic. You could change this, you know, color up if you had a purple wedding. You could match it to your wedding colors. All kinds of fun things you can do with it. I'm going to take the 1.5 inch circle punch. Pop that out. So now we have that. And that's actually going to go right on top of there. I am going to use a dimensional if I can find them. My dimensionals are in this heavy container that's actually holding down my camera stand. It's kind of funny. I forgot that I have these amazing black dimensionals that we can use for these cards. They're really kind of fun. All right, there we go. This is the smaller Puppy Parade from earlier. But so with this, I am going to put this on the inside of the card. I didn't have it done for my sample because I literally just thought to do this about 3 minutes before we were going live, and I thought, well, I'll just do it for the video. These stamps, these bats are really cool, and they actually are just going to look opposite of the one that I punched out from the designer paper, and I'll show you that one in just a couple of minutes. When you have a big stamp like that, I usually take my ink pad and stamp on, like, down on top of the image. I think we'll come in like that. Usually when I do the inside of the card, I make it look as if it's kind of coming into the paper. That's pretty. That's so cool. Okay, get rid of this. And then I think we can probably get away with Happy Halloween. Again, I'm going to pull it forward just so I hopefully can get it pretty straight. Yeah, that was really straight. Lucky me. Okay. Now we can go ahead and assemble the card. We have the card base, and we'll go ahead and attach this layer onto the card base. And like, what did I do? I just used regular adhesive. So the new Stampin' Seal, oops, I didn't flick it. That's what happens when you don't flick it. There we go. I probably didn't need that middle piece, but because the ribbon is there. All right, so we're just gonna mount this right on top of the card base. That in and of itself is super pretty. And then I'm going to take dimensionals. I think you just need 2. Oops. I got stuck. Put 1 on each side. And layer this right here. Now you see this bat is actually from the designer series paper. Excuse me. And I used the die to cut it out. And of course there are big ones, but for this card I just wanted the little guy. And I am going to use a glue dot to adhere it. Right here. He's just fun. And then we just have the inside, and that's it. It's a pretty quick card, a little bit stepped up. Oops. I feel like it's a lot of bang for the buck, I guess you could say. This is gonna look pretty in here, yeah. See, on the inside, like I said, I usually will do 3 3/4 by 5. It just gives you a little bit more of a frame than you can write or whatever. If you're one who writes a lot in cards, you could make it bigger. I get stuck when I go to write in cards. I think of the perfect thing to say, and then I pick up a pen, and then it's like, forget it. So I usually am simple in how I sign cards. So I just need a little bit of space. So anyway, here's a little bit of a closer peek at it. This is so pretty. I love this card. And happy Halloween. So thank you so very much for tuning in today for kind of a quick video of an elegant Halloween card. Remember, we used Hallow's Night Magic Bundle and items from the suite, the Hallow's Night Magic Suite, or no, Magic in the Night Suite, sorry about that mix up. Anyway, you can find a little bit more information in the description under the video, and I will have a link to my blog there, and you can follow that link to get all of the dimensions and a close-up picture of the card. So thank you so very much, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day.